All right, we're going to get started here. We've got another webinar that I hope that you are sitting down where you can take some notes and keep up, because we have Coach Damon here with us again, and Damon and I tend to just get rolling and get going and not really pause. So what we've done is we brought in Jacob Stark as well here from Firepoint. He's going to be taking notes, building this outline. We're going to share what Damon's done over the last 10, 12 days as far as volume. You'll learn a little bit from him. We're going to build basically a daily schedule that we're sharing with you guys so that you can implement this, adjust it if you want to. I wouldn't mess with what works, but we're going to build that as we go so you can have it at the end of this event. If you are on the webinar Q&A down below, please put your questions in there. It's just much easier for us to keep an eye on them and answer those. We want to answer those live as we're going. If you're joining us on Facebook Live, please type your questions in there. We're also going to be monitoring that to get your questions answered. So, Damon, for those who don't know who you are, give us a little bit of background. And also, before we go into your perfect daily schedule, I want you to share with us just kind of the results you guys have seen, because a lot of people not sure that they can actually be taking listings and putting homes under contract right now. So give us a little background and tell us what you've been doing for the last 10, 12 days.
Okay, well, background, been in real estate 18 years, been through a boom, been through a bust, going through another boom. Then we have this. Had the #1 selling team in my market for 8 years now, 8 years straight. Sell a couple hundred houses a year every year. I've been out of production for 8 years. I am one of the original investors in Firepoint. I love Firepoint. And I am also the first official user of Firepoint, even though Gabe wants to claim that he was, but I'm the first official user of Firepoint. And then we're still selling houses. You know, the last 10 days we've listed, I think we listed 9 houses, maybe 10 houses in the last 11 days. We've sold 12 houses in the last 11 days.
So maybe say it again. So you've listed approximately how many?
Listed 9, sold 12.
Okay. In just the last week and a half.
Last week and a half, yeah. Since last Thursday. Since Thursday before last, yeah.
Got it. Love it.
You know, we set, so far I've heard we set 3 listing appointments today.
Today?
Today. We set 3 listing appointments today.
All right. I mean, so we're going to dive into this. So what we want to do is we're going to break down what you and your team are doing every day. You're going to tweak it a little bit so it's not just 100% for a team lead who's out of production, correct?
Correct.
So that everybody who's on a team or a team lead that's still in production can adjust this to them, guys. So again, Jacob's going to be sharing a document back and forth. We're just going to go through it. I'm not sure. We're going to give you the entire outline of all the bullet points. We're going to get through as much as we can. We want to do this really in 30, 40 minutes. We know everybody's busy trying to get things done. If we don't get through all of it, you'll still get the entire outline. And we may do a follow-up, depending on where we're at, to really give you all the nuggets in the middle of the how-to. So, all right, your daily ultimate routine, some of the talking points that I know you wanted to cover. Let's just dive in right at this is your world, Damon. We're just living in it. I'm going to chime in and give some thoughts or try to bring out some more clarity where needed. So have the way.
All right, well, first thing is, you know that I don't hold back. So I consider that the snooze button is for losers. You know, set your alarm, get your ass out of bed, get to work, you know, and it doesn't matter, good market, bad market, doesn't matter if you're quarantined at home, not quarantined at home, it doesn't matter. You know, set your alarm, get your ass up, don't hit the snooze button.
Right.
All right. You know, it amazes me, and I don't know if Tom was on this call, but we were on a call a while back, Tom and I and some other people, and we're on a Zoom call, and we were like, look, everybody turn your cameras on. And we had these people, it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We had these people saying, well, I didn't get dressed today. Well, I didn't get ready today. I haven't done my makeup. I haven't done my hair. You know, I'm still in my pajamas. And I'm like, these are business professionals saying this crap, okay? What happens if somebody calls you and says, hey, I want to go see a house? You're like, oh, no, I'm not going to show you a house because I haven't gotten ready today. No. Everyone, if you're in this business, get your ass out of bed and get dressed and get ready.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if you can go show houses today or not. You need to be in a business mindset. And there's no way, nobody can tell me they can get in a business mindset laying in bed in their pajamas. You can't do it.
I agree. I mean, it's going to go right into the second bullet point there, which is mindset. And poor Jacob, like he's going to have a hard time keeping up. But I agree. I think we've seen it even on our own huddles. The team members that are on them or in the morning and they got their camera on, they're ready to work. I mean, I know this might sound shocking, but they're typically the ones that have the most pending deals. It's like, what the heck?
We're going to bring that up a little later, I think. But since you bring that up, on our huddle, the one requirement on our huddle is you have to have a camera on. And everybody wonders why you have a huddle. Let's just be honest. The reason a team leader has a huddle is just to get you out of bed. Get you out of bed, get your day started.
Right.
Because what's a typical real estate agent do, Gabe? Typical real estate agent gets up 9 or 10 o'clock, okay? Then they drive to their office and they talk about lunch for about 30, 40 minutes. Then they all go to lunch or to a realtor open where they can get free lunch, okay? Right. Then they all come back to the office and they all talk about what they ate for 30 or 40 minutes. Then they go home and like, man, I worked a long day. Yeah, that's your typical loser real estate agent. It is.
So, and again, for those of you not been on a webinar with Damon, he's not going to hold back. Like we didn't call this, building an okay, daily routine, or hey, if you want a half-assed routine daily schedule, here it is. I mean, they've had 3 listing appointments today. So I think it is funny, like snoozers for losers, however you say that. It's not rocket science to just get up and start your day. We're going to work. And here's the thing is, like, our team at Boise has been remote virtual for close to a year now, and it was still the same mindset. So this isn't anything new or anything specific to the times we're going through. It's get out of bed. Most agents, we've seen this across the country, aren't really coming in to the office and sitting down at their desk and doing their job, right? We can do our job remote. So just get up and get going. So, all right.
Well, I'll tell you an amazing thing about the office. It's amazing because if you have an office, agents don't want to come into it. But if you don't have an office, agents want an office.
So is that mindset though? So let's go into that.
Oh, it's mindset. It's mindset. But here's the thing I need everybody to think about. So in this time, I go into Facebook and I've unfriended so many people, just can't get drama out of their heads. And it's like agents have this diarrhea of the mouth of they just have to say something, whether it's good or bad. And, in this environment, what the public wants. So first and foremost, the only reason real estate agents have a job, and everyone feel free to argue with me, but the only reason a real estate agent has a job is because we're supposed to be a non-emotional negotiator. We're supposed to be a business person that can take an emotional buyer, an emotional seller, and we can not have emotions and negotiate a deal and get it done. Otherwise, there is no use for us. Let's be clear.
I love that.
There's no use for us.
Yeah, I'm glad Jacob caught that. Be the non-emotional negotiator.
Yeah, there's no need for us otherwise, because Zillow, the houses are out there. People can go show houses. That's not it. We're a non-emotional negotiator, okay? So as soon as you get all emotional on Facebook about all the hysteria about what's going on, you've lost your value. And you and I were on a webinar earlier this week or maybe last week, and I told you, I was telling one of my coaching.
Oh, I love this. Yes, if you're watching this, like, stop looking at your other monitor, focus on it. I think this is a great analogy to kind of see and think and hear.
So this is a table, okay? And above the table, you're stoic. You're a rock. This is how the public sees you. This is how other agents sees you. This is how everyone in your environment sees you. It's like this. Now, behind the scenes, you might be like this under the table. You're running back and forth. You're scrambling. You're adjusting budgets. You're doing this. You're looking at lead flow. You're checking on this. You're making sure this is working. Making sure that's working. This is what you look like below the table. But to everyone else, you look just like this. And that is what other agents need to see. That is what the public needs to see. That is your voice that needs to be put out there now. Because that is why we are hired, is to be the non-emotional negotiator. And as soon as you start having this diarrhea of the mouth about we're all going to die, we're never going to die, nothing's wrong, everything's wrong, right? State facts. And the facts in this environment are lowest interest rates in the history of the world, the lowest interest rates in the history of the world, okay? 2 is that there's 5, we were talking about yesterday, there's 5 or 6 things that are going to happen in every market. People are going to have babies. People are going to get married. People are going to get divorced. People are going to pass away. There's going to be downturn. There's going to be people downsizing, and then you have people getting job transfers. Those happen in every market, okay? Those are the facts you need to talk about. Lowest interest rates in the history of the world, Okay. And then the 5 or 6 reasons everyone's going to move still. The only thing we're losing right now is your second home buyers and the have to moves. I mean, not the have to, not the have to, the want to moves. So, oh, I'm just thinking about, I think it'd be nice to live on that side of town. We're not getting those right now. But everything else is still happening. The world still goes around in a circle.
Yep. So what were those again? So having babies, job transfer, passing away,
Marriage, divorce, downsize.
Yep.
And somebody asked me the other day, what's the cause of every divorce? And I told them it's marriage. I mean, it causes every divorce. Impossible to have one without the other.
Oh my Lord.
I'm happily married.
Mindset though, right? I think we see people in our industry overcomplicating this, getting too emotional, whether it's in the transaction or about what's going on around. And, you know, right now, I mean, all the time, but especially now, people want that rock, that person that has the mindset that's focusing on the solution, not just the problem. How are we
Correct.
going to do this? Well, how do we get through this? And getting through this, meaning how do we get through negotiations? How do we get through an inspection report that has something on there that we don't like? I mean, we've been doing this all the time, but without the right mindset, we're just seeing people just forget that they know how to do their job without meeting people face to face. I mean, how many homes have you or I or people on our team sold to buyers and sellers that have never seen the home? We've done it for years, for over a decade, and all of a sudden we're forgetting that we know how to do this.
Well, I think when I was talking to you last week, I told you about 30% of our listings we've never seen, and we never met the seller.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there you go. There's proof. Hey, Jacob, also somebody chimed in that I don't know if you can maybe go a little wider, zoom in, so people can kind of watch. And if you are watching this, we are going to provide this to you at the end, right? So you don't have to be taking screenshots or any of that. You've signed up for the webinar. We're automatically going to send it to you. And then I think we're going to give you an option, Jacob. I don't know if it's their email or if we have a number that they text or email to make sure that we can get this filled in daily schedule or routine to everybody. But yeah, if you could zoom in a little bit, it might help.
Yeah, we'll email it to everybody who registered, and then if you're on Facebook Live, we'll share a phone number here in a bit that you can text your email to.
Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome.
So
one thing, Gabe, for any market, okay, these agents that get on Facebook, social media, and start judging other agents, it's got to stop.
Yep.
Okay, it's got to stop. Unless another agent's paying another agent's bills, unless an agent's paying another agent's mortgage, okay, they need to stop judging what other agents do to earn their living. All right. Part of your DNA has to be, you know, I'm a non-emotional negotiator. If you take the emotion out of this business, it's really easy. It's really easy. And it amazes me when I'm in a transaction with someone that's upset and I'm like, my God, do they have a house to live in? Because if my agent started to get upset, I say, hey, whoa, do you have a house to live in tonight? Okay, then why are you upset? What are you upset about? If you have a house to live in, just calm down.
Well, I think it's so important that I think your number 2 item is reinforce your own mindset, right? If we're not starting, and I think we've done these in order that you want to do, but I mean, it sounds simple, but you've just got to readjust that. And I'm trying to remember, I know, it's coming, I don't steal your thunder. It's coming up on one of the bullet points. So mindset. All right, let's move on. I think we've hit mindset. You talked about just setting a schedule. Like, what are you guys doing? What are you seeing agents not do, and why are you guys being so successful?
Well, my agents are still. I mean, my agents show up every day. They show up on the huddle. So what we do every day, we show up. I'm always the first one at the office. I'm here by 7:30. Agents are here by 8, or they're zooming by 8. We have a Zoom huddle at 8 o'clock. Okay, and then the thing is, my agents work their schedule every day. Like, their schedule is there. They don't sit there at night and wonder what I'm going to do tomorrow. They know what they're doing tomorrow. They know what they're doing next Tuesday. It's not a question in their mind.
So when you say that their daily schedule, I mean, is it literally on their calendar? This isn't in their brain, right? It's not written on a piece of paper. Is it on their calendar? Are they time blocked?
Yeah, Google gives this thing for free, y'all. It's a calendar, and it's right there. You just type it in, and look, you can hit the button that says repeat every week, repeat every Tuesday, and so that's all they do. Like, we use Google Calendars, we share Google Calendars, and everything's time blocked. Everything is time blocked in their life, including their days off. Like my agents, when they take a day off, they take a day off. The 7-day-a-week stuff the agents think they have to do is ridiculous. That's why agents burn out.
What are they time blocking? And is there, so give somebody some tips here. If you're time blocking, is it better to time block, well, first of all, what are the items they should be time blocking? And is there an order that you can help give them to do?
Yeah. So first thing we time block is our huddle. If you're not on a team or anything, there's other huddles you can get around the country to kind of get you going without being part of a team. So I always do our huddle. We do it for like 15 minutes. And then we prospect from 8:15 till 10 o'clock. So 8:15 to 10 o'clock.
I want to back up. So I want to skim over, because we're not talking about huddle in depth, I don't think, are we? So I want to, huddle's 15 minutes. Is this accountability? Is this where you're going over numbers? What is huddle?
Okay. So our huddles is very unique. And I'll tell you, I ripped this off from a buddy of mine, Blake Sloan in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Good. Dude, I'd rip off more from him.
Yeah, I would too. He's a really smart guy. So we were actually at dinner one night. He told me this just in passing. And I was like, hold on, tell me more about this. I actually got on a call with him. And it's just an insanely powerful thing. And so what we do on our team is we have our huddle in the morning. And I'm present. I don't run the huddle. I'm present. Okay. I'm present. And what happens is we have a huddle leader each week. Okay. And that they do the wins for the week. So they self-elect themselves. They actually like doing it. And this person will write down on a Post-it note all the wins for all the agents. So Allie might say, I'm going to make 100 phone calls today. So Allie, 100 calls. Frederick might say, I'm going to have set 2 buyer appointments. So set 2 buyer appointments. All of these, we put them on a wall, okay? And we do a Facebook Live in the group, in our team group, and say, here's the wins for the day, and they read them off. The huddle leader does, all right? And then throughout the day, the team's job is to clear their wins off that wall. And every time they do, they go on that Facebook post and say, Allie, say, hey, just finished my 100 calls. And so they'll do a Facebook Live and take that one off the wall. And the job of the huddle leader by the end of the day is to clear all the wins.
Got it. So okay, and I totally did screw you. I think I jumped ahead because we were talking about your start on fire, so I got off track there. But good stuff.
Okay.
If we can capture, I don't know if you got some of that, Jacob, we'll throw it in there. So it's 15 minutes. I love that it's more positive focus. So
all positive in the morning. Never negative in the morning. It's always positive.
Well, and so speaking of, because you were telling me something else that you did in the morning to engage your base.
So what I do, so I get here at 7:30. My job by 8 o'clock before the huddle is I do a Facebook Live positive to all of Facebook. And so lately it's just been what I said earlier, lowest interest rate history of the world, 6 reasons people buy houses. And I tell what we did in the last week, not to brag, but to let everyone know that the world is moving forward. We're still selling houses.
So I'm going to comment on what you just said, because I think it goes back to mindset, which was previous. So every morning you're doing this Facebook Live. Is this when you get to the office, before you get in, before huddle?
No, when I get to the office. I used to do it from my car, and I got all the hate mail. I'd be parked in my car and get all the hate mail. I can't believe you're doing it while driving. I'm like, I'm not driving. I'm sitting here. So now I come into the office and do it right in front of my American flag.
Right. So you're doing it right off the bat. So this is before huddle, but when you get there, and you said something like, hey, I talk about what we've done over the last week, and I'm not doing it to brag. And I think this goes back to mindset. Is as agents, we got to get over that. If you're talking about what you're doing, that it's bragging. And I think it's not what you say, but how you say it, because our buyers and sellers, and I don't care what market this is in, they want to know that they're working with a professional. Again, why do they need us? Why are we in this? And why are we always seeing the top agents be the top agents? They have systems in place. And you need to deliver this as, I'm an expert. This is what I'm doing. This is why you should hire me, without saying that. I think you can deliver results and what's going on in a way that just makes you that expert, that makes you that voice of authority in your market or in your area. And it's not bragging. If it's bragging, then I'd be watching that back and figuring out how you can change it. But I think that's key. And especially in shifting markets, this is where, a little bit of a soapbox here. Everybody's like, oh, my sphere, I'm really good at my past client sphere, blah, blah, blah. Most agents aren't. First of all, I'm going to call BS on most agents that they're saying that they're really good at it. But in a shifting market where there's uncertainty, the agent that's positioned himself as an expert that's constantly doing business and doing things is going to steal your sphere away. We've seen it in other markets and other market shifts. It's going to happen, right? So just don't let it. Add to that and position yourself as that expert. I love that it's just that positive message and keep people inspired and motivated.
Yeah, that's first thing. Then the huddle, and the only caveat we have to the huddle is if there was any training thing from the day before, we put it on. Like situational, something happened. Virginia came up with a new addendum for the virus. We just had, hey, we got this. It's there, but that's like 30 seconds. It's all positive.
Yep, I love it. So in your huddles, and thanks for capturing all this, Jacob. And again, guys, if you just joined, I've seen a bunch of people join Facebook Live. Everything that Jacob is capturing that we're talking about, we're going to share it out to you guys so you'll have all this information. So let's start on fire. Daily huddles, because I got us out of order, so I just want to recap a little bit. It's positive. You said they're just about 15 minutes.
Yep.
You're live or virtual, right? Is there, Zoom's free, I think, isn't it? Isn't Zoom, if you want the
basic account for Zoom is free. Google Hangouts is free.
Okay. So we're not even asking people, you don't need to go buy a bunch of other stuff.
No.
Okay.
You don't have to buy anything. You just got to figure out what you're going to use and use it. And if you have a team, you need to teach your team to use it. The team needs to know how to use it. Our requirement is cameras have to be on. If cameras aren't on, we're going to say, hey, Bob, turn your camera on. Want to see you out of bed. Want to see you ready to work. Everything's positive. Every huddle, I go over the 6 reasons, death, divorce, babies, downsizing, marriage, job relocation, downsizing, every single time. And I reiterate lowest interest rates in the history of the world. Reiterate the positive and the bullet points that the agents need to remember before I set them forth on prospecting.
Okay, awesome. Who else? Do you have anybody outside of your agents attending your huddles? Are your lenders on there? Any of your partners?
No,
okay.
They haven't.
Some teams having lenders in there. I know we did a live with Dawn Cordner. She has her lenders on there. She's felt like it's really helped, solidify that team, which I actually really like that. I never really did that. We'd have them show up to office meetings every now and then, but I know other agents have also really talked about having, if you have joint marketing partners, lenders, things like that, to have them part of your huddle to do those. So just another kind of nugget side of that. So,
okay.
All right. So you had your huddles. You talked to us about like earning your keep. What does that mean? Because we're now getting, like, they've got their schedules, they've done it, but you're also, you're talking like they've got to earn their keep.
So we're a heavy prospecting team. One of our core values is that we're a prospecting based team. And so we do prospecting 2 to 3 hours a day, every day. Every agent's expected to earn their keep.
So can you say that one more time, just in case somebody thought they misheard you?
Every agent is expected to earn their keep. We prospect 2 to 3 hours every day.
Every day they have to work for 2 to 3 hours?
Yeah.
Okay, just wow.
Yeah. Let's be clear about something, okay? Selling a house is easy. There's nothing to selling a house. There's nothing to showing a house. I will go so far as to say the least dollar productive thing an agent can do is show a house. I can tell you that it is a $20 job.
This is the bathroom. This is the kitchen.
Right, Vanna White. It's the least dollar productive. We have showing partners. We pay $20 an hour to show houses for us. Okay, your money is made.
Break that down. Why? Because I want to make sure that somebody's not just assuming everybody's getting that.
Well, because it's the least dollar productive thing you can do. If you're showing a house for 5 or 6 hours, you can't prospect. You can't answer a phone call. You can't make a phone call. You can't convert a lead. And I tell everybody, your money is earned. Everybody thinks that they earn their commission on the closing day. That's when you collect it. Okay? You collect it on closing day.
I think that's
earn your commission.
Jacob. Your commission isn't earned on closing day, it's just collected. I think that's a huge point for people to get in their mindset why they're seeing that up and down.
Yeah, you earn your commission when you convert a lead or a prospect into a client. That is when you earn it. And then everything you do after that is an effort to collect that money. And that's where I think real estate agents make the biggest mistake, is they think that they earn the commission on closing day. No, you just finally collected it, but you earned it way back when you told, or when you said those magic words, when you met someone, when you smiled, when you shook their hand. Can't shake hands now, but you shake their hand and you change them from this stranger into a client. that is when you earned your money.
If you're a team leader, even an agent on this, you and I talk almost every day, right? I mean, we talk all the time, and I've never heard you break it down like that. And I think there's just a huge click, I think, for if you're an agent or a team lead to really get your team to understand, because let's face it, we know the first thing agents don't want to do is their prospecting, right? That's why I was making it. Like, well, your agents do it 2 to 3 hours every day. Like, they probably worked a job previously in their life where they worked 8 hours a day doing something much harder than prospecting. And it's not like you're just cold call leads. Like, I know all the systems you have together to get these leads to bubble up and raise their hand, but it's the earning at that time of conversion, the appointment set or something else. Now everything you do after that's to collect it. I love that. And I think if you're a team leader and an agent, you really need to process that, write it down, read it on this when we send it out to you, and put it back into your mindset in the mornings that everything you're putting on that daily schedule and that you're doing for the prospecting is how you're earning your living, how you're putting that roof over your head, how when you come home from those long days of showing property and you've been away from your loved ones, your kids, whoever it is, that you're earning, like you were just doing everything you needed to collect what you earned because you were prospecting. I love that. Absolutely.
I go so far with my agents, tell them, look, if you don't set an appointment today, if you don't convert a lead today, when you go home and look at your children, you didn't earn any money for them. You didn't earn any money for them. I think so many agents go through. So back last year, I had an agent talk about how much he worked. And I was like, how much do you think you really work? He said, 45 hours a week. I'm like, really? 45 hours? He's like, yeah. I'm like, not for the time. He lived 30 minutes away. I said, not for the time you leave your house, the time you get back, but like work. He said, oh yeah, 45 hours. I'm like, So my sales manager and I came up with a spreadsheet for the whole team. We ran this. I'll share it with you, Gabe. We ran it for 6 months where we broke down all the jobs of real estate, prospecting, negotiating, writing contracts, showing houses, attending closings, attending home inspections. And you know how many hours she worked the first week? 17.
So I was going to say 10.
The most anybody got on that sheet was 26 hours.
So it's great. So you've seen this. I've also got a what's my worth calculator. I think you've probably seen me do that, and I've done it over and over. And maybe we'll add it to the end of this. I don't know if we'll make it in today, but where you can literally go in, and I always use the agent's numbers on prospecting, showing property, negotiating contracts, going to inspections, going to closing, like literally breaking down. And it's almost always right around that 20, 25 hours when I use their numbers and how much time if they were just focused on their job, what they need to be doing, and not having a showing apartment assistant still doing that. But it's always in that 20, 25 hours. And when we take the average commission in most markets, these agents' their worth is $140, $150, $160 an hour, but yet they're all working 10, 12, 15 hours a week thinking, hell, why am I not a top agent? Why am I not making 6 figures? And they're just, I'm going to go to your point. They're not earning their keep. You're just not putting the work in. So, I mean, it's crazy. And I think maybe the problem is people don't have this daily routine. I don't think, we both know this.
They don't, right, they don't.
They don't. So, I mean, the value of understanding this, implementing it, tweak it and make it your own if you want to. I don't think you need to, but just doing this is really helping you get to what you need to do so that you're just being more productive.
Right. So let's touch on something. If we have to do this on another call, we'll talk about another call. I was talking to a good friend of your mine the other day, Mike Novak. And, you know, a lot of these states are shutting down to where you can't show houses. But agents that are working are still at home prospecting. So they're building massive pipelines of business because once this is over, these buyers still want to buy. It's going to have to be pent-up demand. All right. And so what I was telling him is, man, you need to go find 2 to 3 showing partners today, because everybody thinks, well, this is over, I'm going to take advantage of it. You're not going to take but so much advantage of it if you're a solo agent. If you don't have a way to leverage your efforts, okay, if you have 10 buyers when we come out of this, which for most independent agents, 10 buyers, that's a hell of a lot of buyers, okay? You're going to lose 7 or 8 of them week 1 because you can't handle them.
Well, there's only so many hours, right? Everybody goes back to work. There's only so many hours after work, and there's only so many hours on a weekend, right? So you have to be able to leverage your time and skills to get this done. And I think that's key. Everything that you're doing here, even if you're in a state where you can't be out showing property right now, everything you're doing is still valuable, right? I mean, everything you're doing is literally just putting them in line. So as soon as they're ready to go, I mean, we're getting calls daily from people wanting information, wanting video tours, wanting to know if they can still go. So, you know, everything you're doing is still earning your keep. And you're going to, if you do this right, I truly believe this is going to bounce back with rates, inventory coming on. You should be able to go make up for lost time easily, but you have to be smart about it. You're not prepared. You don't have your systems in place. You're going to get left in the dust because people are going to want to move and they're not going to wait for you.
If you don't have a way to leverage your time when this is over, you will not be able to capture any of the bounce back. You just won't.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, supporting your keep, I mean, is that something you'd really look at if you're a team right now that doesn't have any showing partners? I mean, I know there's a lot of agents out there right now, part-time agents that are probably thinking, shit, I'm out, right? I'm out. And I'd be reaching out personally and saying, hey, $20 an hour to go open doors and go, this is the kitchen, this is the bathroom, so that you can just get those through there. I agree with you. I think there's going to be an influx of showings, you know, as that human element comes back into this. And I really believe most teams are not going to be prepared for it.
If I were an independent agent by myself, not on a team, I would be finding showing partners right now so that I can leverage what I put in my pipeline over the next couple of weeks.
Question came in. What do you recommend to find a showing partner at? Ours here are charging $40 to $50 an hour.
40, 50 an hour. What market is it?
They didn't say. I
think that's a service. Because I know Denver has some services that charge that.
Okay.
I will tell you that if you put an ad out, you can put it on Indeed. We use Wise Hire. You can put it on Indeed, put it on Facebook, say, hey, look, hiring part-time real estate agents. Experience is required, $20, $25 an hour. You will be flooded with requests.
I agree. And I'm gonna give a little bit different answer to that. I agree 100%. I think if you put some work in and actually reach out, there's a ton of part-time agents out there that went dark or are dark right now. They're going to want some income coming in. You're going to find them. Let's just say worst case scenario, whoever posted that, if you really sat down, and I'm going to do that dollar productive activity probably on our next one. We need to do a follow-up on Friday. We're never going to get through all this. We're already 30 minutes in, but join us on the next one. I want to start with that dollar productive activity, because even if you had to pay $40 to $50 an hour, guys, if you have a database and you're reaching out and you've got 5, 6, 7, Damon said 10, you're going to start losing them way less than that. 5, 6, 7 buyers. If they all want to go out the same night after work or the same weekend, you can't do it. Let's be honest with each other, right? So even if they need to go out for 3, 4 hours, even at $50 an hour, you're at $200. Don't lose them, right? 0% of all the commission is 0%, right? If you lose it, you lose it. Be smart here. We're going to see an influx in this, and you have got to have your schedule down and some options if you've got more than somebody. So find somebody in your office to share it with, or find a showing partner is going to be much less than sharing it. But there are options out there. You have just got to figure out how to do that and capitalize on it. And here's the other thing. If you find a couple people and you don't have a mass influx, it costs you nothing. It costs you nothing. Be prepared. You're sitting around right now. You should be working on your business. This is a perfect thing to work into that daily schedule. Like, hey, what happens if I get overbooked? Who do I have if I'm not on a team? Teams, this is why teams are the future. Teams can figure this out. They can shift it, move it over to somebody else. But you should be doing it. And I don't know if you're a part-time agent or agent not knowing how you're going to come out of this and you're watching this, you know the teams in your market, reach out to them, raise your freaking hand. First of all, they might just recruit you over because they're probably going to have an influx they need help with.
Right.
Secondly, let them know you might want to be a showing partner.
So
hey guys, Jacob, and just I want to make sure that we cover what I know you guys have talked about in the past, which is for team leaders, they should be prospecting not just for clients if they're in production, but for agents as well for the team.
Oh,
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So team leaders, if you're in production, you've got 2 prospecting jobs. Okay. First is you need to prospect for business to support you and your family. Okay. And the second is you need to prospect for agents. And you can't say, well, I don't need any agents, so I'm not prospecting right now, because that's just like your agent saying, well, I got 2 buyers, I don't need to prospect now, because agents leave. Okay. Agents leave. And so for team leaders, you know the saying ABC, always be closing. For team leaders is ABH, always be hiring. It's always be hiring. You always should be hiring your team's replacement. Always.
Lead generation is so easy, and even right now, it's more affordable than it's ever been. Always be. Hey, Jacob, real quick, because I know we've got a bunch of people on Facebook Live. If you guys will text your name and email, I'll have Jason or Jacob put it on this doc so you can see it. I think we posted it into the panelists on Facebook Live, but it's, if you want this document, again, we're filling in all the color. We're going to give it to you, and we're going to be adding to it. The number is 208. I'm going to type it in for everybody just so you have it. 208. Hold on, sorry. I can't walk and talk obviously at the same time. 208 417. Sorry, I had like 5 windows pop up. 1788. I'm going to put it in there. Jacob, if you could type it in there as well, just so they get perfect. Thank you. Maybe zoom in. I know we've had a handful of people say it's too small to see. 208-417-1788. We will email you this doc. And as you can see, we have a ton more bullet points. We're already almost 40 minutes in that we're not going to get through. So we're going to keep adding to this so that we can get it going. So as far as recruiting, how are you guys finding recruits or opportunities? If you're a growing team right now, Damon, what are you guys doing?
I've been on Wise Hire since I think Wise Hire started. Ask Jay, I was one of their first clients. I've been with them nonstop ever since. I mean, it's just a system that works. It works, it's scalable, it's predictable, it constantly gives us an influx. We visit the real estate schools, we constantly put out Facebook information. And so what I try to be to agents in my market is what their broker is not. The source of information and the rock. Because right now there's a lot of brokers in my market that are MIA. I mean, I don't know where they are. They're not out here supporting their agents. They're not being the rock in the community. And so I'm that person so that hopefully they attract to me.
Yeah, I like it. I think Jacob's getting it there. It's not just the rock, the agents being the rock to their clients, the buyers and sellers, but as a team lead, you have another duty. Like I always talk about, the agents on your team are your internal customers. If you're working with buyers and sellers, now you have 3 sets of clients, right? The buyers, the sellers, and the agents on your team.
Correct.
And I think that's great. You got to be the rock to them as well, and find information. So I think that's great. So Wise Hire, if you guys can look out to them, you just Google them and figure out who they're at. I know we've had great luck with real estate schools getting newer agents. Also, almost every agent, guys, you can do an export in your MLS. Usually find those agents that have been in business for a year or 2 years, but they've only closed 5, 6. You don't have to train contracts. They know how to do it, but they're probably not willing to take the risk and put up the money. They're probably looking for answers right now to how they're going to build their business and grow the rest of 2020 going forward.
And Gabe, if anybody's interested in Wise Hire, I've got a link. I don't get paid anything for it, but I've got a link that'll get them 10% off. I'll remind me and I'll send it to you so you can post it.
Hey, Jacob,
but I've got a link.
That link on this document that we send out, we'll get it from Damon, and we'll just include it on this document for you guys. We'll put it right.
Yeah, we'll make sure that's included in all of this.
I don't get any compensation for it, anybody. So that's just Jay and our friends, and I try to help Jay out because he's done well for me.
That's awesome. What was that, Jacob?
Yeah, I said we'll make sure to include that in the email that we send to everybody. And if you registered for this webinar, you'll automatically get this. If you're seeing this on Facebook Live, just make sure that you text us at 208-417-1788. Just text us your name and your email. We'll make sure you get this.
Yeah, please. We've last week, and I'm going to own it, asked everybody to put their email addresses in Facebook Live to send stuff, and it's hard to go back and find, and it's changing, and it gets reshared. So this will help us make sure you get the information. So we're still scrubbing those old Facebook Lives from last Friday. So if you haven't got it yet, I apologize. That's my bad. We should have done it like this. All right, so we're 40 minutes in. Fill your funnel.
So
let's finish up on that one, and then let's Friday same time. Damon, can you make that happen to kind of try to fill in the rest of this?
Let me check. Hold
on. So we'll do that.
I can do it.
I don't want to just skim over these because there's a lot. I mean, we give you the bullet points, everybody. It's hard to implement. I'd love to be able to get in here and just give you some bullet points to fill in there. So, so filling the funnel, we kind of talked about that. What do you mean by that?
Filling your funnel is when you do your follow-ups. Okay. So let's go back to prospecting for 1 second. All right. And my agents initially have a hard time with this. Every agent that comes on, we have to have these little conversations. So prospecting is not sending a contract across. Prospecting is not following up on showings from yesterday. Prospecting is not getting initials. Prospecting is not scheduling a home inspection. Prospecting is not going to a home inspection. Prospecting is prospecting because, and this is where you got to be clear, that's when you earn your freaking money,
Right.
okay? And I don't know why agents will have a home inspector dictate to them when they're going to do a home inspection, say, hey, you know, Gabe, you can't make money tomorrow. You have to come do this home inspection because that's the time I'm giving you when you called me to do a service for you. It makes no sense to me. I called you to do a service for a client. You're going to do it when I'm available, not when you're available.
Right.
Okay? So prospecting is prospecting. No one, it's not social media hour. It's not call your girlfriend, talk to your wife, call the kids,
You mean
check
in
on
your
school.
system on the dialer? So let's just define it before we go back down to fill your funnel. So how are you defining and tracking prospecting? I know we're going to get into accountability. I'd probably make it on Friday, but give us just a taste of that.
Am I allowed to say it?
I'm not sure what you're going to say.
That we have the dialer?
Oh yeah, go for it. I don't care. Yeah.
All right. Facebook's got a rapid dialer now. And I mean, Firepoint's got a rapid dialer now, and it's badass, y'all. I mean, it's like you do your list, you hit call. I've been in beta since January, and it's awesome, okay? And my agents absolutely love it. So anyways, all we do is you go in the morning, you select who you want to call, you start dialing, and it just dials through a single line dialer, no worries about being sued for TCPA or anything like that. Start at the top, and it just calls through them. So my agent, it's funny, I had an agent, Frederick, he was on the dialer, and he said, you know, because Frederick never called more than 50 before the dial, 50 a day. He said, man, it sucks. But he said, you know, I was calling, and I hadn't scheduled an appointment. He said, I decided I was going to go to 165 dials. And on his 162nd dial, he got a $360,000 buyer,
Right.
which in my market is really good, okay? That's really good in my market. That's twice average.
Contract like within a couple of days, right?
Under contract in a couple of days. And he would have quit 100 calls before earlier. Yeah. And so, yeah, we use the dialer, we track it. And so what we do at the end of the day, this might be later on.
Don't lose your thought. End of the day, don't lose your thought. If you're watching this and you're currently a Firepoint user, we should have something coming out in the next couple of days. Please don't flood CS to get it turned on. We're going to send out something here within the next couple of days to get this, but we will have it available to you. Because basically that 160 calls he did in probably the same amount of time than what it was taking him to do 50. That's the whole point, is we're taking a lot of clicks and time out. So prospecting, I just want to, well, sorry, you had a point. You had a point.
I was just going to say at the end of the day, so we use the accountability tab in Firepoint. So at the end of the day, my admin will post the numbers in our Facebook group of who made what calls that day. And so it's kind of a self-management thing where everybody says, oh, God, I only made 60 calls and Frederick made 150. That sucks. And so I try to keep the negativity at the end of the day, not at the beginning of the day. And so that's what we do for the accountability. They get to see it publicly. So it's a little bit of public shaming, but we don't ever bring it up in the huddle.
Good. So, okay, let me answer a couple of questions. Okay, I think Jacob got you, Scott. It is going to be available to everybody. More details coming literally in the next day or two. So please watch your email address or your email inbox for the rapid fire. You already have the browser dialer, which is a lot faster than the phone dialer. So you already have that turned on, but the rapid fire dialer is coming very, 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 very soon. So
can I add that it's badass?
we're pretty happy with it. All right, so there was another, I think the other question got answered. So, okay, but what I heard, prospecting, and please correct me if you're defining this differently. Prospecting is where you know you've got a list or a pond or a group of opportunities, people who you haven't spoken to, and you're just dialing through. There's not a lot of need to really go look at notes and all that. You know that they're new in your system or they're in your system. You've never spoken with them.
If
right?
they're there, a note doesn't matter because we haven't converted them.
Okay. So what's different than on fill your funnel, follow-up?
Your funnel, you've talked to them. So these are follow-up calls.
Okay. I just want to make sure everybody gets the difference between prospecting and filling your funnel, because I think everybody lumps it together and it's different. And we're talking about their schedule. So I'm guessing this is different time blocks on their schedule, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Time blocks on the schedule.
The difference.
So, say it again.
So what's the difference? I want to make sure everybody gets this.
So 8:15 to 10 is prospecting. These people we do not have a relationship with whatsoever. 10 to 11 is fill your funnel, which is our follow-up. So these are people we have some sort of relationship with. We're trying to convert them into the buying process. And so it's probably a B or a C lead, okay? Because we can do a whole segment of how we do our leads, because it's pretty badass too. But it's probably a B or a C lead that is going to buy. We know they're going to buy, but we need to get them to make that decision. And so we're following up with these people. You're muted, just so you know.
I want to make sure Damon got this, or Jacob got this on here. Because I think this is key. Everybody just thinks prospecting is, okay, well, I'm going to go do my tasks, for example. This is prospecting and filling it up. No, tasks or people you spoke with, or you have a reason you're following up for a specific reason. Prospecting is, we have all these opportunities, all these people in our database we've never spoke to, and I need to figure out, where do they go?
Exactly.
Okay.
Did I capture what you were saying there, Gabe?
Sorry, I was just looking for questions. Prospecting is not home inspection, social media, doing tasks. Instead of prospecting is dialing leads, period. Folks you have no relationship with. Yeah, I think no relationship, no conversations. You should be able to go in and just create a list in your system and just know, based on whether it's their status or the tags. I love how Damon does his ABC and his tags, where you can just pull them up, turn on the rapid fire dialer, and it's just next, next, next. It doesn't really matter. You're getting to know them. You're just offering a service, letting them know you're a real person. I don't know if you guys are focusing on an appointment at that point, or if that's just a conversation. That's a good point. What is your objective when you're prospecting versus you're filling your funnel?
Prospecting, we're kind of doing a needs wants analysis, finding where they are in the process. Then your fill your funnel, the follow-up, we know where they are in the process. We're moving them along in that process. Because look, so we'll take a C lead. C lead's going to buy in 2 years. They're moving here, they're retiring, they're coming here in 2 years. All right. And I'll try to make this really quick. So a long conversation, Gabe, would you agree? If we're just checking in with you, a long conversation would be 5 minutes. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. So 5 minutes, if I check in once a month for 2 years, 5 minutes, 26 calls, 24 calls, 5 minutes, that's 2 hours. 5 times 24 is 2 hours. Is it worth 2 hours of your time to sell a property in 2 years?
Well, it goes back to knowing your dollars per hour. Damn right it is.
Damn right it is, okay? But most people see a C buyer buying in 2 years. They set a task for a year and a half. They call them in a year and a half. They're like, oh my God, yeah, we actually live here now. Yeah, we ate at that restaurant you told us about, okay?
So
because somebody's established a relationship.
Yep. How frustrating is it when you see the notes or you hear a conversation, if you're going back and listening to the phone calls your team's making, oh, well, we bought a few months ago. And then you look at it, well, yeah, we reached out when they came in 18 months ago and then gave up because they said they were a year out.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore.
It's because you don't have a daily schedule. You're not staying on top of these. You're not creating these funnels, and you're clumping, I think, your fill your funnel with your prospecting, thinking it's all the same thing. And then you wonder why you're going broke, right? I mean, it's just the schedule's allowing you to treat this like a freaking job, right? There's different things we need to be doing. And I love Scott. Thanks for your comments, Scott. Send me an email today. I've been pushing for this, and then in all caps, forever. We need to do this, and Damon's created this. We're going to go deeper on Friday because we are already 50 minutes into our 30 to 40-minute webinar. And we got a lot more to chat about. So, hey, Jacob, would you show the number again one more time and just kind of zoom in on it? I want to make sure everybody has it. But, guys, if you want what we've covered so far with all the details, 208-417-1788. Please just your email on there. There we go. Perfect. Your email and name so we can get this sent to you. In addition to this document with all the things, we'll get that link for that 10% off of Wise Hire as well in there. So, all right, I'm gonna wrap up. Let me see. Did we answer all the questions? I think we've got it all in there. So, guys, we're going to do a follow-up to finish this Friday the same time. So we will shoot an email out to everybody who registered on this to you as well. And we'll probably, if you've also texted in your email and name, we'll get you invited to the one on Friday as well, where we keep going through this and filling it in. So on the parts that we covered, Damon, which is really, we kind of just got up to the prospecting part. any takeaways that, like, if somebody like Scott's like, hey, get this to me, I want to start working on this today. Some of the just basics, like we can't do everything at once. You start at the top. What are your pointers on that?
First thing I'll say is get out of bed every day at the same time. Start your day every day at the same time. Use your calendar. You need to do stuff. I mean, I'm you know me. I work 5 days a week now. Okay, I work Monday through Friday. I set my calendar. I work my calendar. Like I live and die by my calendar. And it's funny because 4 years ago I never used a calendar, and it's scary that I was actually successful in spite of myself, not because of myself.
Right.
Okay, so if you use a calendar, you're gonna be much more successful. You can be much more productive, and you will live a better life. Trying not to keep it up here and actually keep it on the calendar.
So talking to that, keep adding on to this and adding on. If somebody's going to implement this before waiting 2 more days, when you're setting up that calendar for you and your team, would you use your huddle for getting everybody on the same page, just setting that calendar up so everybody's kind of in sync, or is that just do it on your own type thing?
No, I would do it at a team meeting. I'd tell everybody, hey, look, let's get on the same page, you know? And right now, if you're not meeting in person, do it on a Zoom call or something, or Google Hangouts. Hey, everybody, let's get on the same page. So let's get everybody get on a calendar, share calendars so everybody knows what's going on, and just start. Everybody, we have a business. We have to start running it like a business, you know?
Don't go too deep on that. That's Friday.
Yeah.
So awesome. All right. We've got a lot to do. So again, 208-417-1788. Get us your email, your name. We'll get this part out to you at least, as well as an invite and a link to join us on Friday. We'll go deeper. Scott, we'll get something out to you right away. Damon, thank you. Scott wants the dialer to Scott. I said in the next couple of days, we'll do it as fast as we can. And Friday, somebody put in a request. We'd love a COVID script for new prospects. So
I can give you that right now. You want that real quick?
Go.
10 seconds. 10 seconds. Hey, I know you're not doing anything right now, but what were you going to do before this hit? And then what are your plans after it's over?
Okay.
Just talk to them like a person. What were your plans before this happened? What are your plans after it's over? Just talk to them like a person.
Yeah, that's key right there. So a lot of people have been asking me like, hey, you help us with scripts all the time. What's the COVID script? And I like that because I've honestly been saying there's no COVID script. They're people and they're concerned, right? If they're relocating here from out of state and their deal fell through and they're freaking out because they're going to be homeless, what would you say to them, right? We as agents have been through similar things. We've helped people relocating from out of state, buying sight unseen. Go back to Damon's mindset thing. Just step back a second, be that rock, and have the mindset that you're just offering a solution, right? They're people. Acknowledge what they're going through and just talk it through. I don't know if it's, I love that as a script. It's actually probably the best script I said. So what were your plans before all of this? And what are your plans, as it lifts and we can get back out there?
That's right. And just talk to them. Get rid of the commission breath.
Yes.
Just talk to them.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan. I'm always telling people as a Kelia, like just focus on the service, not the sale. I think when you're going into, I need a script means you have an objection. Right now, I don't really look at COVID as an objection. It's just, it's a part of our life right now, and we just need to talk about it. So it's not a script. So I'd maybe even remove that from your mindset. Have a conversation. These are real people with concerns that we all have, but be the rock for them in the real estate part of this pandemic, whatever we're going through. Be that part with them. So, all right, we have to wrap this up because I know you said you have a hard stop and you have another one at 11 o'clock. So, Damon, thank you, everybody, for joining again. 208-417-1788. Your name and email will get you all of this. And then Friday, 10 Mountain, which is the same time we started this one. We'll do it again and go through this and continue filling it out. Damon, appreciate it. Stay safe, buddy. We'll see you on Friday.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, Jacob. Bye, guys.